Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Bitcoin Generations, where we talk about Bitcoin and we talk about it with boomers, for boomers, by boomers, and we talk about it for new Bitcoiners too. Anyway, my name's Bodie with a beard, and I have some good information I think for you today regarding Bitcoin and some good news about why Bitcoin. Let me get my special grammar here adjusted correctly. And you might notice that we've had a bit of a glitch in our schedule recently. I've got usually live on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Had an additional live segment yesterday with Tuan from Canada over in Ontario. He's an amazing guy with regard to Bitcoin and heat reuse that he sets up systems and contracts with people to do heating in their house. It's an amazing venture and something I'm gonna get going at my house. Uh, more than kind of what I'm already doing. So I would, if you haven't seen that video, I would encourage you to go see that. He's got some good information. We also mentioned a couple other things on there. The 256 Foundation regarding this is the the open source project for open source software and hardware for Bitcoin mining at home. This is going to be big. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of things moving, a lot of things in the news and everything too. But don't take your eyes off of heating your own house and really an efficient way to get that paid for. Um, and if you choose to take that rebate, if you will, and you want to put that in your bank, that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to sovereignly set that aside as you save your sats. And if you can connect the dots there, that's great. And but I highly recommend that you take a look at that. Take a look at what Tuan's doing with 256heat.com and also the 256 Foundation .org. So what Michael Schmidt and Schnitzel those guys are doing over there. So many good things happening in the Bitcoin space. A lot of development, a lot of interesting stuff. I'm bringing stuff for baby boomers, of course, and who may or may not be off of zero on Bitcoin. But if you have some clue about some things that are going on, sending Bitcoin or real close to zero cost. Okay, let me repeat that. Sending Bitcoin for at right near or zero cost to send Bitcoin is a huge deal. If you know what it's like to send money anywhere for any reason, money of any kind, it costs money. There's all these middlemen in between, and and we've seen that with the credit card processing companies. It's right around 3%. And when you start talking about big numbers, 3% of a very large number is a lot of money, even just 3% of it. So this is one of the reasons why Bitcoin is a go-to for a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses who just can't afford 3%, taken out of their profit, because it's hard to run a business that way. So yeah, anytime you can reduce your costs, that's a really good thing you want to do. But moving on into like what I want to talk about, a couple of things, and I'm kind of focused on, this is sort of like the adding the value, giving back to the community. I want to just try to show you what you can do and what I'm doing, and just kind of like continue to kind of just add value to people. There's a lot of people that don't understand Bitcoin, and they have tried to understand. They have the best intentions, and they just don't have the time or the energy or the push through, the vision, the laser eyes, whatever you want to call it. They haven't been exposed to that much technology in their life, and and it doesn't take a lot of exposure or a lot of education, but it does take a commitment to understanding something. Really, if you really want to understand it, you gotta spend some time on it. You're gonna have to spend more than a couple hours looking into it. Excuse me. So, a couple of housekeeping things right out of the gate. We're probably going to be continuing to do something on Thursdays. Going to try to continue to be at 2 o'clock time frame on Thursdays, but I'm going to add some other videos as well, and then we're going to continue to just in some of the other areas. There's a few other kind of series that we're working on, but the technology side of things with regard to the heat reuse, going to continue to push that message, because that is a space that is really, really growing. And it's practical. It's something you can use every day. I mean, it's and so on the let's just take an analogy. Um, and Yeah, okay. So the housekeeping things are taken care of. So the analogy is in regard to let's just say, you, the technology of heating heating your home with a wood burning stove. Okay, that's pretty basic technology. It's been around for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. But heating your home by burning wood and then using the heat and the fuel is either free or doesn't cost that much. Okay, especially if you have a farm or you've got a place where you can get free firewood. Okay, great. That's how you can do that. But that technology is one way of doing that. What we're talking about here is using a newer technology to increase your ability to get a rebate, a rebate back from this technology that is like it's a smart heater. It's a smart heater. It's not a dumb heater like a burning wood burning stove. It's a smart heater. Uh, so yeah, I mean, don't want to beat the drum, don't want to like beat a dead horse here. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you heat your house, which everybody does. The question is, do you have the follow through or the interest in actually making it happen in your house? And so I would say, like, do it if you can, if it's something that makes sense to you, or find somebody that you can trust to help you to get that done. And that is something that I think that I'm going to continue that conversation with Tuan. He's in Ontario and I'm in the U.S. And there's a number of people that are doing this kind of thing in the United States, but I think as time goes on, there's going to be more people doing it. And if that's something you have interest in doing, you can reach out to us in the comments. Let us know comments. Subscribe, like if you wish. It'd be great. We're almost 200 subscribers. I think it'd be great to get over that. But being at what it is, we'll see how it goes, and we just continue to try to keep pushing value. And and as we move into July of this year, we've got a lot of things, a lot of things going on politically and otherwise. It seems like a lot of these conversations, they just kind of blur together, and it's kind of crazy. And it's amazing how many things can get people upset anymore. Um, yeah, I mean, there are some things that are really just kind of ridiculous too, but without pushing all the way into that, all that, I'll just kind of like round it out by, you know, uh, just let's just go into one of the developments that's happening. You know, this guy Jack Dorsey of Block, and he has developed a new way to send Bitcoin. Uh, like I said, virtually, I would say virtually free, but nothing's free. But let's just look at this for a second. I'm going to share this screen, and we're going to take a peek at this guy right here, and we're just going to kind of look at this. And So what they're doing here is they're able to send Bitcoin, small amounts of Bitcoin, over the Liquid network, which is based on the Lightning network, over the internet. I'm sorry, Bluetooth, not you don't no internet needed. My bad. Okay, so here's this article. No internet, no problem. You can BitChat allows Bitcoin transfers over Bluetooth. All right. So what are the key takeaways? Key takeaway is that BitChat enables encrypted Bitcoin and message transfers using Bluetooth. No internet or mobile network required. Messages relay across a Bluetooth mesh network with no central servers, accounts, or permanent identifiers. Reliability depends on user density with no delivery confirmations or routing logic in the current beta version, which it's under beta testing. So this isn't the final rollout. However, BitChat does not function as a wallet or a signing tool, and the transactions are only delivered if a relay device eventually connects to the internet and broadcasts them. So, yeah, it was pointed out by another viewer here that that it doesn't have final conclusion to the transactions, but it doesn't require that you do. In other words, if you were in an area and you were transacting in, let's say, a remote area, we could do business together, except when we got back to where we had internet, then our transactions would upload, which is I think we're used to that already. By if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're trying to text somebody or you're trying to do something, that holds that text message until you get to the location where you do have ability to send transaction or send a message, a data chunk, like a text message, and then it is able to transact and make confirm that it's been sent, and you'd had finality of your transaction after that. So again, is this a done deal? Is this like happening in commerce right now? No, this has just been rolled out. This is a beta test version of this. So it's news though. It's something that we've never had before. This is a new kind of thing. Bitcoin transfers over Bluetooth without internet. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to some other news in the space, and I think it's pretty interesting. We might want to just head right over to time chain. I like the time chain calendar. Might as well take a look, see what the current version of that looks like, and we can see that we are at block number 904,956, and the block reward was 3.1455, and they had block subsidy was 3.125. We are at 94.71% of all the Bitcoin has been mined, and we are at a price on the exchange, according to Time Chain Calendar, 113,420 something, 430. And we have this number right over here. If you look underneath that 113,000 number, you see this number right here, the 882. Last month we were doing some looking at this, and this number was in the 900s. Okay, so this was in the low 900s, like 930 or 40 or something like that. And the price, as it goes up, the number of sats per dollar goes down. Okay, and so that's why it's a good idea to buy it at a lower price, because the number of sats that you get per dollar becomes less and less as the price goes up. I know that's pretty basic for a lot of folks, but uh, just keep an eye on that number as you continue to look at time chain calendar. That will change over time as the price goes up. Fair enough. Okay. And the other reason I'm having you look at the number of sats per dollar is because I want you to stop looking at this number as much. Don't be looking at the price. Don't be looking at how many US dollars it takes to buy one Bitcoin. You need to be thinking in sats per dollar. And your goal, my good friend Jerry has kind of encouraged a lot of people to get to 1 million sats. So you want to get to 1 million sats if you can. That is a goal for you if you're new to Bitcoin. Okay. So get to 1 million sats. And then if you need help getting it off an exchange, there's people that can help you with that. I can put you in touch with some folks who can help you get it off the exchange and into more safe storage. Eventually, you'll be working towards getting it into cold storage. Okay. That is your goal, because self-custody in cold storage is 100% what you want to be working towards, period. And if you're new to Bitcoin, which many people are kind of like having fear of missing out and all this other stuff, then that is something you want to do. Okay. And that's what Bitcoin Generations is here for, is to try to help people understand that getting Bitcoin in your wallet, in your self custody, in cold storage, is going to help you preserve your family's wealth for future generations. Now think about it. If you got a family, like hopefully you value family. Hopefully that's one of your values. But if you have a family, and you're going to know that you need to preserve your wealth, that's what you got to do. All right. So simply just start stacking. And I have some referral links to some some tools, some exchanges, if you will, to where to purchase Bitcoin. This isn't something that I actively get a sponsor for. I don't have sponsors on my show for a reason. And I don't like to be beholden to the man, anybody on what I'm saying here. And but I will recommend some exchanges that I use, and I'll show you who they are right here. Okay, we're getting ready to do that right now. So I would show you river.com, and I would show you them because number one, I've been to their office here in the local place where I live, and I've met the people, and they are top shelf operation. They have a proof of reserves, and let's just kind of go and see. Let's go about. All right, let's go to they. You can go to River and you can learn all about Bitcoin. You can start learning you can follow this right here. You can go into these basics about what is Bitcoin, why is it valuable. Okay, all this. You can go down this rabbit hole. I recommend getting an account with River. Yes, they're in the US. Yes, they are available to people in the US. I'm not sure if they're available to people in Canada or outside of the US. So I'm going to have to defer to that question in case somebody has a question on that. But I would say that, let's see here. Let me just check a few things. And yeah, so River is a great learning tool. Okay, so that's one place you can shop there. I'm going to put a referral link in there in my show notes if anybody needs to get an account with River. Okay, next place I'm gonna recommend is Strike, and I would say that you don't want to go there. That is not where we want to go. Let's go back and didn't bring it up. So yeah, here you go. Strike Bitcoin, not Stike Bitcoin. So this is another one you can do. You can get an account here, and I recommend that you have several accounts so that you can, if one of them gets all jammed up with mega transactions, then you can use one of the other ones. So River has been good for me. Strike has been good for me. And another one that I've used also is Bitcoin Well. All right. And I'm not going to dox myself, but I am going to show you Bitcoin Well. So you can go to all three of these right here, and you can use a referral code that I will put in the show notes for you, and you can get that. The final one that I would tell you about is the one that I use quite a bit, and that is Fold. Okay, so Fold is the one that I can probably speak to because it's sort of like it has a lot more features to it as a tool, and I would say this is something that if you are interested in kind of getting to a Bitcoin standard where you're kind of living off of Bitcoin, where you're using Bitcoin in pretty much every way that you possibly can, and you're interested in stacking as many sats as you can, this is a tool that I'm using, and I don't know if they have it available in Canada or outside the U.S., but I will tell you they're really good. And at least from the perspective of being convenient, doing what they say they're going to do, and also to stack your sats. I mean, there's different ways that they do it, and it's pretty creative how many different ways. And sometimes they'll get like a weekend push. They having a sale kind of thing on gift cards or something. You can buy gift cards. Okay, you can buy gift cards. And I'm going to show you. Let's see. Am I showing you this? Let me confirm. Yeah, we're doing well here. Okay, so we're going to go back over here, show you some of the gift cards. You can buy gift cards. All right, and the thing is that you can purchase these with. I guess I'm getting a little too far into this before. Let me go back to the beginning and kind of explain a little more about Fold. Okay, so what it does is you can, as you can see here, you can have a debit card and you can have a cash balance on a prepaid debit card. So you can put money into that via direct deposit, not bank wires, but you can have your bank account transfer money into this prepaid debit card account that you can then they will send you it's a Fold debit card, and you can spend money out of your Fold debit card right here where this is where it shows this balance, and that will accrue you some sats down here in this little blue area. That's where your rewards come. They come in, and these different tabs here on the bottom of the app, it can show you, this is the gift card tab, the one to the second from the right. The one in the middle is the Fold. Yeah, so that's the. I'll just bring it up here, and I can't show you it on mine because I don't have that camera set up that way for it to happen that way, and I'm not going to really want to dox anything here. So, so that is the little icon here. I don't know if you can see this down here in the center. That is the Fold card, and that has the different card boosts and the different, like, where you can spend it at restaurants, and it also shows you the different merchants, like Sam's Club or Starbucks, Visible. Also, it shows you your transaction history. And then this one over here to the left between the little yellow house and the Fold there, that one is your Bitcoin. And if you can actually direct deposit your check or any kind of like direct deposit you want. You can have it direct deposited into Fold, and they automatically buy Bitcoin at the price that it's at at the moment that it deposits into your account. So you can go from, like, if you have fiat dollars coming into an account, you can have that go right into this Fold account, and it'll automatically buy Bitcoin right at the moment it hits your account. Okay. And then from there, if you're interested in holding it on Fold, you can, but you can also move it to your, you can sell your Bitcoin if you needed to, or you can move it onto cold storage if you want to do that. Now, really but you also can, if you were, like, let's say your debit card or something was running low, and you wanted to use that, and you needed to spend fiat dollars, and you didn't want to spend the Bitcoin. You'd have to, if you only were able to do it this way, you would have to sell some Bitcoin and transfer that into the debit card account. So there is a way for you to do that. And if you have, and there's no fees on that if you are a member of the Fold Plus program. So is this a big advertisement for Fold? No, it's not. It just happens to be that's kind of the way that you would use that. And as of right now, it's a pretty decent way to use Bitcoin, and it has a lot of different kind of features. One of the things that's kind of cool regarding the gift cards is that if you have, let's say you have, a check or two different checks or something coming into that debit card, or sorry, the cash account, you can buy the gift cards from there, and you can get sats back on those. And you can, let's see, yeah, and it basically, let me just read what I've got here on this. There's a bunch of different, Amazon, Best Buy, DoorDash, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Airbnb, Amazon. There's a bunch of these that you can use. There's just probably maybe 200 of them. Let's see, Bob Evans, Buffalo Wild Wings, some food places, Chevron, Kroger, Chipotle, just Domino's Pizza, Fanatics, Fandango, Five Guys, GameStop, Gap, Google Play, Groupon, yeah, just all these places that you would probably be spending money at already. And if you want to get sats back, it shows you. So let's say you want to go to Jersey Mike's and get a sandwich. Okay, so we're going to bring up this thing here, and you just click on that, and right there it shows you that if you want to buy a $25 gift card at Jersey Mike's with your cash that you have in the Fold app, you can get 1,443 sats back. Okay. If you buy, and it doubles if you buy a larger gift card. Okay. So that's what these are right now. And they, Kroger right now. Okay. So Kroger has, they have different kinds of gift cards there. They have the 25, the 50, the 100, 250, and the $500 gift card. And they're currently giving back 2.5%. I'm sorry, 2.5% sats back on expenses that you if you're already buying groceries there, then you can buy the gift card. So you get sats back for the gift card, and then you also get like fuel points or whatever there if you're into that, because you got your Kroger card there. So that's a way that people can use that in the United States and get sats back. That's another tool that you can use. So, all in all, it's pretty good. It would be something to consider if that's something you need, if that's something you're interested in using. If it's not, then maybe you have a better idea. But for a lot of people who are like on zero or who are very close to being new to Bitcoin, that's something that they may not know about. They would appreciate being able to get some free Bitcoin. I know my daughter loves doing that. Speaking of, she is working on being able to come on here with me. And I know I keep talking about her, but I'm pretty proud of the fact she's doing some stacking, and we had a conversation last night about getting her stuff off the exchange and getting into some cold storage, um, at least getting it off the exchange. And so that's one of the things that I'm interested in. It's kind of like one of the things that's interesting to me is not so much sitting in front of the computer and talking to a camera, streaming live on the internet, but the part that I really like is stuff like this, where I was this is called the Bitcoin Diploma, uh, financial education for the Bitcoin era. And I printed this hard copy off. It's all full color and everything because I'm old school, and I really like the lessons and stuff that you can teach people and stuff like that. And I think that really what we need to be doing is Bitcoiners is to really put it in the hands of people who don't understand Bitcoin and to help them to see what it is. So one of the things we can do is to teach others about this. And, no, it wasn't cheap to print a hard copy, color print of this thing. But this curriculum is open source. Okay. Curriculum came from my first Bitcoin is in the English translation of it. The very first class was in El Salvador. Okay. And what's really cool about this is, and I want to read this because it's pretty neat. The Bitcoin diploma story. Let me read this. There is nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. The Bitcoin diploma story began in El Salvador with the first pilot of 38 public school students graduating in June of 2022. This was the first Bitcoin diploma in a public school system anywhere in the world. It's hard to believe that was less than 3 years ago. The growth since then has been phenomenal, with thousands of Bitcoin diploma graduates from our classes all over the nation of El Salvador. Okay. However, the most exciting, inspiring growth has come from others. The workbook is open source, and an incredibly diverse collection of Bitcoin educators have embraced the material both in El Salvador and beyond. So it goes on to talk about a lot more about, El Salvador, but the focus is El Salvador, but the mission is the world. Okay, and so they go into further onto like the Bitcoin nodes in terms of the Bitcoin educators node network, that are people who have been sort of signed off to kind of like they're part of the mission, and they teach this like the way that they like it to be taught. But it's open source; it can be taught by anyone. And so, and it's a 10-week basically. If you take a chapter per week, it's basically a 10-week curriculum. And then they have activities, they have breakout activities, and they have things to kind of like, it's intended for people of all ages. So young kids, they can't sit for like 45 minutes or an hour, so they need to actually do something. So this actually helps. There has some exercises, and you have some things that you can practice with, and you can learn about money. You can learn about why why fiat money and is worthless, and why understanding why the importance of understanding like fractional reserve banking. It's absolutely fascinating, the basic lessons that can be taught to the common person. So my challenge to anybody who's really thinks that they know a lot, and my challenge is like, okay, so what are you doing with that? Are you just stacking for yourself? Are you actually giving back? Are you actually finding a way to teach other people? And I don't mean orange pill. I don't mean like, like, hey, you've got to, I mean, like, help people to see that how the system is broken, what the history on it is, and this kind of is a sort of like a really kind of interesting way to do that. I think it's an underutilized resource that is available to anyone. It's available on the internet, and I can put a link to in the show notes to that as well. So I think that's kind of like the value add that I would add today. That's the challenge for Bitcoiners today. If you're new to Bitcoin, you want to find, and I don't know where they're teaching these outside of El Salvador. I know there's other classes going on, but like consider, if you're a Bitcoiner, consider like getting that. You don't even have to print it. I'm old school, so I'm used to teaching, fire and EMS and stuff like that. So I'm used to having an instructor manual and stuff. But I would actually encourage you to get a copy of that, and you can teach it right from your laptop. You can have put it in people's hands. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so we're gonna move on. I'm sorry, I've got. Yeah, I've had this fold thing up here for a while. Sorry about that. You want to see that a little bit better? I can show you again. This is the Bitcoin Diploma, Financial Education for the Bitcoin Era. Okay, and it's open source, and it's freely available, and you can print. I think the number of pages here is I think like 150 pages or something, and it comes with a nice glossary at the end too. You got a glossary of all your kind of Bitcoin terms and stuff. I think it's really cool. So this is kind of interesting here. So you can see lots of different information. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of glossary. So that's pretty good, especially for free. Okay. So yeah, that's another resource for you. All right. And what do we got to go here? Buck 52,000 is in the chat. Hello, Buck 52. How are you? Good to see y'all. I'm drinking my pink hydration stuff today. So from working out, got to have some hydration, especially when you get older. Make sure you're hydrated. You got to keep these muscles going. Yes. Okay. So what else are we going to talk about today? We talked about Fold. We have talked about, oh yes. A lot of things in the news, a lot of political news and things like this. Kind of avoid talking about some of that. But one guy that I just love, and I just can't talk about him enough, and I don't really talk about him on here at all, but Max Keiser. And that is the reason why we have this thing today called Bitcoin Separates Money from State. So Bitcoin separates money from state. This is Max Keiser's sort of one of his Max Keiser isms, and this is sort of like the ultimate like in the face, sort of like slap in the face to the existing system. And we're gonna see if this video gets yanked or not, or if I get deplatformed because of it, because I can see why somebody might not like the title of this video. But Max Keiser came up with this term, and he has a lot of explanations about why. He understands it very well, but it's very simple. It's a great statement. Bitcoin separates money from state. I mean, of course, why wouldn't it? And why did it take him so long to figure that out? At least in my life, it took him a long time to get to figure out Bitcoin. But he has been right about Bitcoin since probably the very beginning, at least 2011. His new Bitcoin target is 220,000. That's Max's target, is 220,000 Bitcoin in 2025. And he says that 200,000 Bitcoiners will have the power to exit fiat and the state. And yeah, okay. So, like, so good for him. Good for him. But he's also actually there's some other stuff that he's been highlighting that's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Let me if we can go back a little ways and bring that up. Oh yeah, that was funny yesterday talking about gold and how gold companies are now buying Bitcoin, gold mining companies buying Bitcoin. Oh yeah. But okay, no, I don't think I have that available right now. So um, one of the things, other things, as you talk about, Bitcoin separates money from state. You know, Bitcoin is sort of like the the money that separates, right? The money, that's the money side of things. And of course, the AI is sort of you know, the AI and robotics sort of kind of, let's just say, like, those are kind of moving together. If you will. And the thing about AI is that, and Bitcoin is they're going to take a lot of energy. It's going to take a lot of energy to 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 continue to power this whole thing. And in order to do that, the grid is going to have to be reworked. We're going to have new power lines, new power generation stations, new transformers, a whole new infrastructure is going to have to be, brought in and built. And so one of the things that I've been learning a lot about is in terms of the energy sector, that's it's like, where's that energy going to come from? Where's that going to, a lot of people are, not really focused on that. They're focused on, putting their food in their mouth, and this is totally understandable. And sort of like, kind of building their citadel, or their place to get out of Dodge and go. But the energy infrastructure has got to be replaced. It's got to be built, got to be improved. In some places, it's going to absolutely just get replaced. But uh, one of the conversations in terms of this energy infrastructure and these things, there's other kind of related things that are kind of connected to that, and that is, in order to do all that, in order to build out that energy infrastructure, they're going to need copper, and they're going to need a lot of it. And right now, closest to the United States, Chile and Peru are some of the best places to find copper ore for these some of these companies that are looking for it. And they know where it is, but they're having to get it out of the ground and process that. It takes a while to do all that, and that's going to cost a lot of money. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with regard to those companies that are going to have to provide those raw materials, the rare earth minerals, if you will, to the United States to be able to build this out here. Uh, there could be, you know, uh, some sort of like thing glitch or something that causes that to be delayed in some way. So keep your eye on that, because that's an important metric to make sure that that the AI and the Bitcoin internet money play is going to need to have a lot of energy. It's going to have a lot of energy, and we got to figure out better ways of producing energy. They are, it's pretty obvious, that they're, you know, Elon Musk he's bought a power plant in another country, and he's disassembling it and bringing it here so he can, like, pretty amazing. Uh, and Texas is doing some amazing things down there, and ERCOT, but that the fact that we even know about that is kind of like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we have to like rethink and redo a lot of things, and we're not doing it nearly fast enough, because the needs of this is coming faster than we can possibly even supply it, or the other people in the world can supply it. So, the things, the kind of the takeaway there is that there's plenty of gas, oil, and copper around the globe, but the question is can we get it as fast as the demand side is growing in AI? So yeah, I mean, there's some great resources on that. You know, but this is kind of the takeaway here is that if you have, your regular jobs, kinds of things, jobs that are growing, in AI are, I mean, well, let me say it this way: there's a lot of resource being put toward artificial intelligence that will affect some industries, and like for like a big one that's being a lot of money's being put into is healthcare. And as a previous firefighter, I've transported patients as a paramedic and EMT on a rescue. Uh, I'm very interested to see how that works, and that how they're going to maybe deploy self-driving ambulances to people's houses, and you're going to have robots jump out and haul some people to the hospital, or they might just jump out and start working on somebody doing something some way. That to me is not too far in the distant future. I know it's less than 10 years away. And so it's gonna put some people out of jobs. It's also gonna be something where people are going to be like firefighters and stuff. Their roles are gonna change somewhat. That I know they don't think so, but that is gonna change. In healthcare, all across healthcare, there's a lot of it's going to change, where there's still going to be people working, but you're going to have a lot more rudimentary and mundane tasks being handled by other machines, if you will. This is something that AI is, a lot of money is being poured into AI in that area, in just healthcare. But one of the things, kind of the takeaways for me was in terms of learning about this AI and stuff, is that if you have use AI, and you want to learn from it, and use it for learning, and multiple times a day. And one thing AI will not be able to replace is your creativity. Okay, so, and however that looks. So if that's you building something for that's I don't mean building something like a house, or like practical something like that, but I'm talking about creating something out of like wood, or out of something else. You're creating artwork, you're doing something. This is going to change. This is how this is going to change. So there's going to be all these things that that these things are going to be doing for us. And what would you spend your time doing? And that's kind of the question you kind of want to ask yourselves. What do you want to be doing? How do you want to be doing it? And like, kind of choose that now. If you had the opportunity to do something creative, if you could spend your life just doing something uh, for 5 or 6 hours a day, what would you be doing? Yeah, I mean, would you be surfing, or would actually, I think kind of humans like to do stuff. They like to maybe kind of work. They like to be productive in some way. And so yeah, I think sometimes we're just rushing around getting stuff done because we have to, and we forget some of this these creative outlets that we might have, um, that need to be kind of resourced. Source that energy, that creative outlet. Um, uh, yeah, so that was an interesting kind of segue into from like the Max Kaiser thing, money separating money, Bitcoin separates money from state, to the AI and stuff, chat. But you know that's one of the things that we really just want to kind of like keep our eyes on. Is stay focused on Bitcoin, because it's really the best chance. It's really the way to separate the money from the octopus, the squid, the monster that is the state that wants to keep control over everything, and you and me and everyone else, right? We are the people, and we will take back not only our country, but we will take back our that's my little alarm. Um, and we will take back our country, our nations. We'll take back the people's world, so that we, the people, we can be sovereign in our with a decentralized nature that this is all going. We'll be able to have more control over what we're doing, what we're decide we're going to pay for. We don't want to pay for that war. We don't want to. We don't want to uh, you know, do something with this certain body of people. No, those people are sovereign. They need to have their, their property, and and I wouldn't say that we're all going to live kumbaya and happy as a clam, but this is something that this is why you Bitcoin. This is why you do these things. This is so that you can be, you can live in peace, and you can help others where they need it, and you don't need someone's permission to do something like that. Now, if you're there there is I think it's interesting too. We have the where the different people kind of intersect and kind of meet up, but if it's not so much of this, and it can be a little more of this. I think that's a kind of a universal language, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. um, and politically, we have some oil and water stuff going on here, but ultimately, when people are given their sovereign rights back, and they understand that they have to work, and if they don't work, then they won't get to eat, that kind of stuff, then it's a different thing. It's a different kind of diet that they've been feeding on. The mainstream diet of media messaging is completely opposite of that. You are owed this, and you are owed that. No, no, nobody wants to pay for that. Nobody wants to pay for somebody who's freeloading. And once you get out of that mindset, and you have to do your own, if you do your own proof of work, you have to do your own stuff for your own family. You have to lead from the front all the time. You have to provide for people. You have to do all these things. It's a responsibility, but not speaking for women, but men are built for this. Men are built for this. Men are built for producing, and for providing, and protecting, and getting with the program, not leaning on other people. If you've got this mindset where you're constantly whining and complaining, and something's not this, or it's not that, or I don't have enough this, or not. No, absolutely, you're either gonna crash and burn, and you're just gonna be or you're gonna have to figure it out. And there's a lot of people that really kind of have a harsh view on this, and after a certain period of time, they're just kind of no, you're getting nothing, because they've heard it for so long that that's just, yeah, that's how people can get. They can get pretty hard-hearted about stuff. But in my faith, my belief is that we need to help other people. We need to kind of lift each other up, where we're kind of bootstrapping things. You're kind of trying to figure it out yourself. Well, hey, you do the best you can. And if you need some help, then you ask for some help, and hopefully somebody's standing near you who's also been working hard, and they're like, okay, yeah, what can we do? They'll help you. So this is the kind of stuff where we need to kind of be a little more grassroots. We need to kind of do the little bit more of the work that we can on our own in our local areas. And I'm not saying everybody has to do what I'm doing, but it might be something that you're gifted at. If you can do a little bit, you can talk to somebody, have a conversation with them, be encouragement to somebody. That may make a huge difference. And I'll just kind of, just rather than rattle on here, and I know I'm kind of going off track here. I've been almost an hour, but I will say this. I got a couple family members, and they're both close to me, and they're both both struggling right now. They're going through divorce, and it's really hard to watch. Um, their kids are young, and they don't have. I'll just say that they don't have the same worldview that I have, and and that's fine. But it doesn't look real good. It doesn't look real good the way things are going, and that's really that's kind of without hope. And I wouldn't say hopeless, but I would say it's without hope, and it saddens me a little bit. And so the reason I bring this up is that you know the reality of difficulty is that everybody goes through this, and I've been through a lot, myself. So having compassion on others, being a dad of adopted kids, I understand. I understand some of the difficulties. It's hard. It's hard. Not only adopted kids, but I'm also a dad of some special needs kids. So, I don't look for sympathy. I don't look for anybody's, kind of like, you know, um, whatever. It's just kind of a perspective that gives you some lens of like, sanctification and some saltiness and some understanding of like when people are going through hard stuff. It's like, okay, yeah. And so when somebody like Max Kaiser comes along and he's just like, straight ahead, just like no filter. I kind of appreciate, I really appreciate people that don't have the filter. Uh, they can just get cut straight to the point. And the language, foul language, I'm not really a fan of, but I would just say thank you to Max Kaiser for what he does and how he does it. He's straight to the point, and just gotta love the guy in a certain way. So hats off to Max Kaiser. Hats off to all y'all that are doing your thing and trying to make a difference. This is the kind of thing that we're going to continue to kind of do here on Bitcoin Generations. And then remember, it don't kill the messenger, because that's me. But I would say that let's just keep putting it out there, keep doing it, do what you can every day, and you're going to be better for it, and your family's going to be better for it as well. And I appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Okay.